Hello, everyone. My name is Darlene Corbett. And before we begin, and I tell you what this is all about, I want to ask you a question. Are you depriving the world of you? Have you ever thought about that? You might say, well, I don't know. Maybe not, but maybe you are. I'll ask it again. Are you depriving the world of you? Think about it for a moment. If you say, I don't know, well, that may be a good reason for you to be here. If you say maybe, better reason. If you say yes, absolutely. Welcome. I am the unstuck expert, and I do get stuck, and I've gotten stuck over the course of my life many times. But I've also helped many people get unstuck. And one of the ways I do it is a therapist, as an author, as a speaker, and now a podcaster. Today, I want to begin a daily, with the exception of the weekends, video series of resetting mindset. How we think is everything. Investors Business Daily, for those of you who are business readers, writes that as one of their secrets of success. How you think is everything. I happen to believe that. Many people believe you can't change after a certain period of time. I'm here to say false. Many people believe under certain circumstances you can't change. False again. Many people believe we have set personalities, that there's just no changing. A trifecta of falses. This is about behavior and habit and how we can change our thought process. I'm a hypnotherapist also by background. I didn't mention that. It's part of my therapy work, but I do it separately also. And why I love doing hypnosis is because it really helps people see they can change behavior. They can change habits. And sometimes the way we think is a habit, isn't it? Negative thinking can be habitual. And it can affect all of those around us. Positive thinking can be habitual. And it can affect and infect everyone around us. What would you prefer? You might say, well, you don't know my life. It's really, really difficult. I bet you're right. I don't think life is fair. There's much unfairness in the world. But as I said, a lot of people, most people, what are you going to do? If you stay in that mindset, life is fair, this isn't fair. I've said that sometimes. I feel it sometimes, but I don't stay there long. If we stay there too long, we wallow in that kind of victim mentality. And what does it do for us? It just perpetuates and perpetuates and creates more envy and jealousy and bitterness. I say no, 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 no. I have seen people from the most horrific situations, the most horrific circumstances, suddenly become ill, suddenly become debilitated, and they maintain a positive attitude. And how do you do that? Some, it's easier. I will say that some of us have a much more positive disposition. I do believe some of us are born innately with positivity, more serotonin, but it doesn't mean you can't increase yours. And sometimes it's medication, but sometimes it's not. Medication can help you feel better, but it's not going to change your thinking necessarily. It can augment that. What changes your thinking is you, your mindset, you. We just completed Christmas. We all usually watch Scrooge, the great novella written by, well, the movie based on the great novella written by Charles Dickens. And I love the old one, especially because it's dark and it's gloomy and it's frightening. Now we know it's a fantasy, it's fiction. But fiction is often based on fact. And what I like about Dickens, I'm not really sure what the reason he wrote it. I suspect it was to help people see that we need to help those in need. But it's also an example of Ebenezer, crotchety, cheap, I would say frugal, but that's too polite. Cheap, cheap, cheap. And just negative. Then he changed. Now, not everybody changes overnight. We hope they can. And that's what I want to tell you all. No such thing. You can begin to change overnight. You can begin to set the course, but it's not a straight line. You have to work at it. You have to work at resetting your mindset to get unstuck so you can stop depriving the world of you. I have a lot of examples of this in my book, Stop Depriving the World of You. Yes, I will mention my book and I will show it at times. And I want to give an example that change can come many, many times for us, and we can open new chapters. Sometimes we have chapters in our life, and I like to refer to books since I'm a voracious reader as well as a writer. And some chapters you wish you would get through. Like, oh, this isn't a great chapter. But eventually that chapter can end and you can turn the page and start a new chapter. I firmly believe that. And I've also done it. I see it in my own life. Those of you who say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, again, false. We had a little dog living with us, my mother's dog, Biscuit, before he took a one-way flight to heaven to join my mother. We didn't bother to train him because he was very old. And we put pee pads down. He had a little diaper around him. But we never showed him the pee pads. They were for my dogs, our dogs, Winston and Churchill. One of them actually will come in maybe during some of my videos, and you'll see them walk by. But the point is, Biscuit, without even showing him, watched my dogs and went over and tried to do what they do. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, dogs are not as high on the species as we are, humans. Well, so that's debatable, isn't it? But the point is we can. Think about this. People say they're going to retire. Okay. They want to learn to play golf. They want to learn to play bridge. They want to pick up a musical instrument, learn a new language. And many do. It's a skill. It's a habit. Practice over and over. People want to exercise their body and chisel that muscle. And they keep doing it over and over. Chiseling that muscle until it's nice and just the way they like it, firm and strong. It has to keep being done though, otherwise it will atrophy. We can do that with our thinking. We can do that with our mindset. We can reset our mindset anytime, any age. Well, my personality is not like that. It's not about personality. It's about behavior. But behavior can change personality a bit. Yes, it won't totally do that, but it can change it somewhat enough. But changing your behavior, wouldn't it be nice to think about being open to the possibilities or instead of saying, too late, can't, at 30. I've had people say that to me at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I know of people that wrote books in their 90s. As long as you have this, you can do it. Are there some things we can't do in life? Of course. Just our anatomy, our physicality is not going to allow us to do that. I mean, I would never have been able to play girls basketball, although I did play once. I was on the 4th string way back in junior high school. I played once. I couldn't do it, but the point is I tried. The reality is I can't be on a basketball team. I'm not even 5 feet. But I can do other things. Even now, in my 60s, I can do other things. I can do lots of things. Can I do certain physical things? Of course not. I love wearing high heels. Can I do that anymore? Hardly. I sit with them. I love wearing high heels, but I can't walk around in them like I could before. I don't want to ruin my feet. So there's things we can do, we must modify. Things that we can do to modify even our mindset. Yes, we may not learn a language as quickly as a child. You immerse them and within a few weeks, they're already picking it up. But you know, I've heard these stories that you can go to a foreign land and if you get immersed for several months, you will learn the language. It's the same thing with our mind. So how do we begin? It's not simple. It's not easy, but it can be done. Well, I shouldn't say it's not simple. It is simple. The idea that you can do it doesn't take rocket science, but to continue it is not easy. Think about this. People go on diets, okay? What's the biggest industry in the world other than the sex industry? The billion-dollar industry is dieting. Everybody can lose weight. Everybody. You ask the experts, all the low fat, low carb, high protein, but who can sustain it is the question. It's those that put their willpower over and over, thinking about this over and over. So I'm going to ask that you begin to think differently by buying a journal. I'm not suggesting you write a lot. And begin every day with a word that you think will help you change your mindset. Or a few words. For example, I can and I will. I can do it. I want to do it. Put a smile on my face, even if I don't feel like smiling. It will change how you feel, and it will change how those around you respond. We're going to talk a lot about this over time. How resetting mindset not only impacts you, but those around you. Resetting mindset keeps you open to the possibilities, gets you to think of new ideas, gets you to imagine that you might be able to do something that you didn't think you could do. How about that? So I invite you to come back. I can't wait to share more of this. I can't wait to convince you, because I believe everything I say. I have witnessed it. I've done it myself. And I'll share that along the way. But you must begin right now. If you don't want to get a journal, get a notepad. Just keep it by your bed even, if you get a thought. Or keep it while you're working from home. Many of you are. Keep it next to you. You get an idea, you get a thought. Write it down. And begin with something, maybe just something positive, a positive word. Begin to see that life is like a book, as I'll say again, many chapters. And this next chapter, beginning 2021, hopefully you'll have many chapters in this year, or maybe just a few. But you can turn the page now and get ready to write your new chapter. You can do that. I can't wait for you to begin and see. And I can't wait to share more with you. In the meantime, I invite you to come back when the student is ready. Remember, we are all students. We all should remain students. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm your teacher, at least for this. Reset your mindset. Come on back. I can't wait.